Alright guys, welcome back to a new live stream. I'm here with the new setup. I'm really excited to have my camera here. If you guys didn't look at my watch my last live stream, kinda did a test. And the last one, it was about a couple of days ago, I think. I'm really excited. This is a new setup with my camera on. It's fully charged. Hopefully it doesn't like die during the live stream. But I have a lot to cover, guys. Like I have a ton to cover. I'm just so excited. I have Joseph in the live chat right now. Shout out to him. I'm really excited for this new setup, this new like camera that I have. It's not it's not even professional at all. It's just like a vlog camera that I got over the holidays. So I'm really excited. I really want to just get started with this, honestly, guys, because I have a lot to cover. There's a lot that has already happened in 2024. We're like 3 weeks into 2024, and like we're like almost at the end of the month pretty much, and it's already, there's so much happening right now. It's like insane. So let's get started. The first topic we're gonna go ahead and cover is Katt Williams. I did put up I think it was a short, kind of like a short video on my channel that pretty much covering that and how he talks about Kanye West and all that stuff, and he talks about even TD Jakes and like P Diddy, and I'm gonna cover that too. I'm gonna cover that. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna cover all that tonight in this video. Once again, I have my old desktop like that's behind my laptop, so I can hold the camera in place. But let's just get started, guys. I'm really excited. As I said, I kind of covered him a little bit in my main channel, so we're gonna just cover what he's saying here, because I'm like kind of like not shocked, but like I'm like, whoa, he actually roasted like a lot of comedians and actors in Hollywood, especially black actors and comedians in Hollywood and in the like movie industry or whatever. So this is something that I'm like, wow, he actually went all out. Like he hold no punches in this stream. I'm like, that's crazy. Not the stream, the video, sorry. But he hold no punches in this video. I'm like, wow. But let's just go ahead and check this out, because he talks about cross-dressing in Hollywood and how they feminize men, even black men, to like wear dresses and all that stuff. And let's get started. Let's get started with this, because I'm like, really excited.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, but you know, some of these people.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress.
Also, let me know if you guys can hear that. Just let me know. I do have the volume, but I'm not sure how high it is. I'm not too sure if you can hear that. Also, the comments, I can the live stream, the live chat, I can hear it. I could see it, sorry, but I can't really see the whole thing. Maybe it's just my OBS. Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. So let me know if you guys can hear that, because I'm not too sure. I can't hear it from the other end because I'm not watching the stream right now.
When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner. You my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy comedy.
Also, I don't have censorship. I can't censor the things he says in the stream, so mind the curse words in here. Sorry about that. I can't really censor it. If sure, I can censor it, but not here. So just like if he says some curse words, my bad. That's just like, it's a video, so my bad. Yeah.
Top shit. I said, Martin, you got my motherfucking word, my nigga. Go do what you got to do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2. I almost died. And I gotta read this script from all these good white people, where this nigga want me to get in a dress with him. And I'm literally saying to everybody, why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now. We can be playing.
That's the same thing with Tyler Perry, is that he's with Medea. That's the thing of like feminizing men. There's Kevin Hart, there's Tyler Perry, there's Martin Lawrence, there's who else is there? The only ones that haven't been in a dress is Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams. That's literally it. But like, it's the feminization of men in like Hollywood, and it's a humiliation ritual essentially that you got to do. Like Hollywood's like it's saying like you got to do this, you got to do this. It's essentially what they're saying. So.
And a dog catcher this time. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got. Twice I said it, they went and got him. Just like I'm telling you, I had that other dude's work. I had all of it. All I did was say, I want to punch it up so it's not offensive to real niggas. And that's...
Sorry again for the bad words. Sorry. But I think that was all I wanted to show you guys. Again, feminization of men. Honestly, there's a video... I'm not too sure. I don't really watch their videos at all, but this is like the one time I watched them. It's called Good Fight Ministries. I'm not sure if you guys heard of them, but they did a really good video on cross-dressing agenda with Hollywood men, and it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. They exposed how cross-dressing is an agenda behind that. It's pretty much attacking masculinity. I can't even say it. Masculinity. How do you say it? I don't what. Masculinity. I don't know. I'm like my tongue is like twisted. I don't know. But anyway, that's the topic for that was what I want to cover. You guys can watch the rest of the video. And I think it's called Cup Shay. I'm not too sure, but it's almost 3 hours, so it's a long video, but. Yeah, there you go. If you guys want to watch that, that's right there. Just want to let you guys know what's up with that. Now, the next topic I'm going to talk about. It's a bit disturbing. It's a bit triggering. But TD Jakes has been affiliating himself with P. Diddy. And there's a lot of rumors. I don't know if this is true, guys. I might be careful because like it's YouTube and all that stuff. I gotta be careful with what I say. But apparently P. Diddy, quote unquote, I'm not sure if that's the truth, but like he made a hit on Tupac and Biggie. I don't even know if that's true. That's just me. I'm not that's not 100% confirmed, but that's like what it is essentially. And that he's made a lot of money, like from Biggie's music and all that stuff, but also TD Jakes. He's been affiliating himself with P. Diddy. We know P. Diddy. He's a rapper, and he's not a good person to affiliate yourself with, like at all. But there you go. And also, there apparently, I'm not too sure if this is true. I cannot confirm this. This is just me. But he is apparently in a relationship with P. Diddy. I don't know if that's true. I can't confirm that, but I just gotta let you guys know. I gotta talk about this stuff because it really is kind of disturbing. My bad. I might have to move this camera to a different place, but it is kind of disturbing, you know. And yeah. So let's just start with this. This is as I was saying. This is a woman called Jaguar Wright. I think she used to rap in her 90s, and I think she did some music with Lauryn Hill. I'm not too sure, but this is what she talks about with TD Jakes and P. Diddy. Let's just watch it.
Do you think TD Jakes was at Puff Daddy's birthday party?
I mean, you know, do you remember when Bernie Mac played the minister in Friday?
Yes.
That's how I feel about TD Jakes. Like, that's how I see. Oh, Miss Parker, come to pray. But for him,
just pay attention to what she says. But I can't talk. For some reason, I can't talk, guys. I'm so sorry. But for some reason, she knows what's going on behind what's going on in Hollywood, essentially. So yeah. Just pay attention. Pay attention.
The Diddy party? I don't know. Like I feel the same way about that as I feel about when Tyler Perry came to his church and laid hands on him and he caught the Holy Spirit from Tyler Perry.
Yeah, that's another disturbing thing. Another disturbing thing about it. And that's actually fact. That's another fact, but not Tyler Perry went to TD Jakes' church. It's some weird stuff. We all know Listen. We all know that TD Jakes is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, that's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's like, just, it's the truth. TD Jakes is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is a prosperity gospel preacher, air quotes, just put air quotes, because he's according to him, he's a bishop and he's a pastor. But we all know he's not a real pastor. He's not. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's a prosperity gospel preacher, and he just, I don't know what's that. I mean, we all know this. We all know this. You know, people have been saying this for years that he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's all I gotta say about that. But yeah, let's just continue with this.
The bishop of what? Like, I've never, like, and I cut a check for 100, and I'm gonna lay my hands on you, bishop. And he said, and then the bishop said, it's on the fucking internet. He's doing all of this, right? And then there's a woman on the dais screaming, push the baby out, birth that baby, I'm like, what? Are we a church?
Right.
If Bishop Jakes,
that is true. Are we even? This is not even church. It's not even church at all. Like, why do you think? Like, this is a good thing to actually acknowledge. Why do you think he's bringing Tyler Perry and P. Diddy and all these other celebrities? Because the reason why he's doing it is because he doesn't care about the sheep. He's just like bringing these wolves because he's a wolf himself. Like, he's honestly like a wolf, and he doesn't care about the sheep. He doesn't, like, what kind of pastor bringing celebrities from Hollywood? Like, I just, yeah, I don't know. It's not church at all. She's just like you said, it's his church. No, it's not.
was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties: money and sex. I hope it was for money.
Charitable contribution.
I hope it was for money, because arguing about who's going to put the strap on is...
All right, that's all I got to say. That's all I'm going to show. But yeah, that's all about that. Why do you think they're intermingling with each other? That's all I got to say. Why do you think they're intermingling with each other? It's because they're wolves. They're wolves. They're all wolves. And they're just bringing in all the other wolves to, you know, slay the sheep, pretty much. So yeah, that's all. Next topic, I guess. This one, I don't know this guy. I'm just gonna say right now, I don't know this guy. I don't know who he is. He's supposedly a preacher. He was a preacher. Apparently he died. I'm not too sure, but I think he did. And this is another scandal that came out. Not just TD Jakes, but TD Joshua. Another one that I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. But also, this actually kind of reminds me of John MacArthur. Like, I think one of his deacons or elders, if I'm wrong, if I'm correct, one of his deacons or elders had something to do with a sexual allegation, I'm pretty sure. And this reminds me of this. That's what this reminds me of. So, I'm not going to cover it too into depth because I don't exactly know who he is. I haven't seen his sermons or anything like that. I haven't seen him at all in the internet. But I know that something happened, that there's sexual allegations against him. And all I'm gonna say, sorry, is we gotta be careful who we trust, and we gotta be careful who we listen to and watch, because just like the Bible says, there's going to be people coming into the church to deceive many people, right? So we can't just lend our ear to anyone, right? Like, we can't. Like, we gotta trust in the Lord, and that's it. Like, that's all I'm gonna trust in. That's all. Right? I'm not gonna listen to you just because you're a Christian, right? Like, we gotta be careful who we listen to, who we watch, because that's our call as Christians, is being wise as serpents, right? And it was wise as serpents and harmless as doves, right? I forgot the quote for a second, but yeah, that's what we need to do. That's what we're called to do. Yeah, that's all. Next one, Tyler Perry, another one. This guy, P. Diddy is a monster, and Tyler Perry is a monster, and T.D. Joshua is a monster. These are all monsters, devils in disguise, because Tyler Perry went to the black church and he deceived the black church into thinking that drag is okay and that drag is acceptable and that it's not a sin. That's what he did. So, again, I'm not going to go too into it because you can just research it and you can go to YouTube and research it, look it up. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna let you guys know what's going on because it's already a wild ride. It's already a whole mess within the American church, right? So I'm just gonna let you guys know what is going on. So listen to this.
Right, the next time Oprah gonna make another movie. She'll be pushing it. Her, Tyler Perry, all of them. Tyler Perry fooled the whole black community. He got us to do what RuPaul couldn't get us to do. He got us to do what no one else, and he came up with an ingenious way to do it. He and he alone got black folk to accept drag. And you know how he did it? He did it through laughter, through humor.
And that actually is a manipulation tactic, is trying to make it as funny and as lighthearted as possible when it's actually a sin and it's actually a very serious thing. That God says that it's an abomination for a man to be dressed as a woman. So that's what I'm saying. We gotta be careful who we lend our ear to, right? We can't just listen to anybody. We can't just be like, we can't just trust anybody because today we're surrounded by wolves. Like we gotta be careful who we lend our ear to, and we gotta be careful who we trust. So it's crazy.
He got us to accept drag queens. That's all Madea is a drag queen. So, and you know what he did? He went to churches. He went to churches. Went to a place where he could go where you could almost guarantee folk ain't gonna be thinking. There won't reason. There won't nobody say, wait a minute. This man can't find an overweight black woman?
Alright guys, that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to show. I'm not going to show the whole thing. You can just go ahead and watch it yourselves. But, again, we got to be careful who we listen to. We got to be careful who we trust, because you can easily be deceived. You can easily be, So yeah, that is all I want to talk about for the scandals that are surrounding T.D. Jakes, P. Diddy, T.D. Joshua, Tyler Perry, all that stuff. That is all I'm going to show you guys, because I just wanted to let you guys know. I don't know if you guys knew that already about these old scandals surrounding these pastors, whatever. But like, why do you think T.D. Joshua was like? It's that whole different thing, because sexual allegations against him, that's, obviously that's a very serious thing, and we need to talk about that. But also T.D. Jakes is like, I mean, we've been talking about this for years, right? It's like he's a wolf in sheep's clothing because of certain things he said, just like Kenneth Copeland. Like, we gotta be careful who we trust, right? And who we lend our ear to. Like, we can't just be like trusting anybody. That's what I said previously. I still say it because it's really just true. So yeah, I mean, this whole thing is like, I feel like the church hasn't even learned, right? After the whole thing with the Hillsong, after the whole thing with just Brian Houston and Carl Lentz, I feel like they haven't learned. We gotta be mindful of the people we're listening to. The thing I was gonna say is, why do you think he's allowing these people in his church? Is because he's a wolf himself. That's what I'm trying to say. So, the last, sorry, what was that? Oh, my bad. No, not that one. All right, sorry, I don't know what that was. My bad. The last thing, that's kind of scary right there. Not the last thing. The last 3 things I was gonna talk about before the browser kind of like went crazy on me. The last 3 things I'm gonna talk about before I leave, because I just want to talk about this more deeply than the other ones, because the other ones are kind of just things I've seen and they're like pretty insane and talk about the church and all that stuff. But the other things I kind of want to talk about more in depth, because it kind of affects the children and affects it kind of relates a little bit to me, not too much, but it's just kind of separate and different subjects I want to talk about. So the first one, obviously, as you can see by the screen, is Generation Alpha. So Generation Alpha, I don't know why, for some reason, because I'm Gen Y, I'm millennial, then there's Gen Z, Generation Z, that's generation after me, which are currently, I believe, in high school, and then Generation Alpha they're currently their children. They're like 10 to 12 years old, I believe, and they're like preteens, I believe. So Generation Alpha, I don't know why they're called Generation Alpha. I don't know why. It's just like kind of weird. I don't know if they're gonna call the next generation Generation Beta, Generation whatever. But anyway, that's besides the point. That's kind of funny that they named that, but yeah. Anyway, Generation Alpha. I wanted to talk about this because there are teachers that are talking about Generation Alpha and how they are very disobedient to their parents. And I'm like, wow. I mean, it's not really a surprise, because like it says in the Bible that they will be disobedient to parents. But the way that they are describing how they act and how they rebel against people is pretty crazy. So I'm not really going to talk about it myself. I'm just going to show you guys what's going on, and I want to talk about a little bit of this. But yeah, let's just get started with this.
Gen Alpha is just as hard. Gen Alpha have been raised to believe that they...
Let me refresh this, my bad. I want to start from the beginning.
I quit teaching Gen Z, but apparently Gen Alpha is just as hard. Gen Alpha have been raised to believe that they are grown folks, that they can speak to whoever they want, however they want, that violence is the answer. Gen Alpha students are raised in a world that tells them that it's okay to be as nihilistic and individualistic as possible, that they don't have to care about anything or anyone, that they can speak to anybody however they want to speak to them, even though they're only 10, 11, or 12 years old. Most importantly, they are being conditioned to believe that they are immune to consequences, that there are no consequences to their poor behavior, to their rudeness, to their lack of care in completing tasks and doing well in school. They just don't care. I'm talking to parents. If you are not ready to admit that there's a problem here, we cannot get anywhere near even talking about the solutions. We cannot raise a generation of kids that are this tuned out, that are this rude, that are this violent to each other, to adults, to people younger than them. We just can't do it. I quit teaching Gen Z.
So that's the short. I just wanted to show you guys that, because that's kind of a short that I saw. But also there's other videos that talk about Gen Z too, and not just Gen Z, but also Gen Alpha. So they say that Gen Alpha and Gen Z are just as bad, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like that. I mean, we've seen in the Bible that they're gonna be disobedient parents, obviously. But I think I'm right about this, is that this is linked, I believe, to social media. Because back in the 80s, children weren't like this. Back in the 70s or 60s, children weren't like this. Back when I was a child, I was not. My parents taught me to obey and to. I can speak my mind as much as I want, but I gotta also obey, and I gotta also respect my elders, and I gotta respect the teachers, and I always have been respectful. Teachers have been saying, I've said that I'm always polite, I'm always kind, I'm always, I'm the one just always just the smart, not the smartest, I'm not gonna say that, but I'm kind of just like the smartest kid in class, and I'm very chill, and I'm not a troublemaker, I don't look for problems or whatever. But now that I'm seeing this, I'm like, whoa, maybe this is linked to social media. Maybe it's linked to social media. Maybe it's because of that. It's because they're so much out of tune, and they're so addicted to social media, especially TikTok, that it's making an effect on children, and it's making them rebel. And I'm like, maybe that's the case, because back when it was the 80s or 70s, children weren't like this, not as much as it is now, because yes, we had video games, yes, we had kind of like our Nokia phone or whatever, but we didn't have social media only until I was a teenager. Essentially, like my generation was only until we were teenagers is when we had kind of social media, kind of had MySpace and Facebook and all that stuff. But it still wasn't as, social media wasn't as big as it is now. We have TikTok, we have YouTube, we have Facebook. No, children don't really use Facebook, but they use Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. But I think the one that especially makes an effect on, like causes an effect on them, is TikTok, because I've heard from my cousins that they're always on TikTok, and that their peers are always on TikTok. And the thing is that also, supposedly, the Chinese government is kind of in control of TikTok. So I'm like, maybe this is the case. Maybe this is why children are disobeying, and they're kind of rebelling and not being as kind or polite, I guess, or as obedient as their predecessors. I think that's what the word is. But maybe this is the case, that maybe parents need to step away and say what is going on with their children. Like, we cannot just say, like, let's just give them an iPad, let's just give them their phone, let's just give them a PS5, and then we'll be good. Because it's not the case. That's why millennials are spoiled. That's why we're in a way spoiled, because they gave us everything. They spoiled us, and that's not a good thing, obviously. So I'm just thinking, because here's the thing, and I'm gonna go in a personal rant. I don't want to go in a personal rant, but I think I have to, just for the sake of this topic. My parents were not rich. They were not in the middle class when they were children. When they were kids, they were born and raised in Mexico. They're from there, and now they have documents and all that stuff. They're essentially illegal, I guess. But that's beside the point. The thing is that they were dirt poor, and that they didn't have money. They were almost always hungry. And my mom even told me this, is that she was always hungry, and that she was always trying to see what she can eat, because she was always hungry. She remembers even having a piece of bread on the ground, and that she wanted to eat it because she was that hungry. And she now is telling me that she gave me, not just me, but my brother too, she gave us everything, and she wanted to spoil us because of the way she wasn't as a child. She was dirt poor. She was very poor, and she didn't want to see us begging for food, or always starving, always hungry, always, like she was in Mexico. So that's why she spoiled us, and that's why she gave us essentially everything we wanted, is because she doesn't want us to go through the things that she went through, you know? So that's the thing, but also that's our personal thing. That's my mom's personal journey and why she does the things she does and why she spoiled us. But maybe this is why Generation Y, Generation Z, and Alpha, Millennials, Alpha, and Z, maybe that's why we're the way we are. It's because parents spoil us and they don't see the ramifications and the consequences of what is going on and what they're doing to the children is essentially giving them an iPad, giving them a phone, and having the kids be there all day. You know, all day on the phone, all day on the iPad, all day on PS5 or Xbox or whatever, what have you. That is why. It's because we're always spoiled. We're always asking our parents what we want, and we're saying we want it now. That is a spoiled child, and that's why we're like this. And I think as Christians, we are not, like, you might say I'm not really endowed to talk about these things because I don't have children. But like you see in the video, teachers are not having a good time teaching Gen Z, Gen Alpha because of the rebellious phases they have, their outbursts. Like, it is not making teachers any better. They're not having a good time, right? Like, and that's because their students are being spoiled all the time and given everything they want all the time. Like, we need to build boundaries. We need to, like, give them a limit of time on social media and say, you know what, that is it. You have only 2 hours. After those 2 hours, I want you to do whatever you have to do and go to sleep. I mean, I feel like that's what we need to do. We need to give limits, right? And we gotta be careful, right? We gotta be careful what we're feeding them, because TikTok is not a place, I feel like it's not a place for a child, especially who's 11, 12 years old. It's not a place for them. So is, I feel like, Instagram, because there's things that they shouldn't be seeing in Instagram. They shouldn't be, you know. So I digress, whatever. That's a whole separate point. But we gotta give our children essentially limits of what they can do and what they cannot do, because they can't just think they're adults and they can do whatever they want with no consequences at all. That is not the case, you know. And that's, a lot of kids feel like that they can do whatever they want because there's a certain age that they can do whatever they want. They're not adults. There's certain consequences to what you do and certain ramifications of what you do. So that's all I got to say about that. That's Gen Alpha. That's Gen Z too. But the next topic I want to talk about is not owning digital media. That is a big thing nowadays. And I've seen a lot of shorts on YouTube talking about PS5 not owning licensing for Discovery Plus and certain things that they're not going to essentially be able to give or provide their customers, you know, because a lot of people sign up for Disney Plus or like Discovery Plus, and Discovery Plus, they won't be able to provide that service for people. So I just want you guys to check this out, and I'll just talk about this after the video.
I freaking knew it! I knew it! You don't own the digital shows and movies that you bought. Everyone told me I was freaking crazy when I brought this up, and how I still loved my hard copy DVD collection. PlayStation is the latest to remove titles from buyers' libraries, with Sony recently posting a legal update notice outlining that hundreds of Discovery branded shows will no longer be available to access starting December 31st, saying as of 31 December 2023, due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and content will be removed from your video library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. This being the same scenario on any platform where you are purchasing content, whether you are purchasing movies or seasons of shows. All it takes is the licensing agreement from the people who actually own the rights to this media to take it back, and all of that you bought disappears. And when that inevitably happens, you don't get a refund. So in reality, you're not buying anything, regardless of what they try and tell you. I freaking knew it! I knew it!
So, there you go. That's the case with, I feel like this is the case with everything, right? With Amazon Prime, with HBO, or Disney, with PS5, with everything, like everything, and the Apple TV, everything, right? Nowadays everything is digital. Everything is digital. Like, you go to your smart TV, everything is digital. You don't own anything physical, any physical copies of anything. So this is the case, and this is like, I feel like this has been the case for since social media and digital media even existed. Right? So, for example, I have my things here because I want to show you guys a demonstration of what I want to just talk about. For example, this is Mario Kart, right? There I have a Switch, right? If I buy a game of Mario Kart 8 on the Switch that's digital, I do not own that game. I pay for the licensing of that game, right? But I don't own it. I feel I own this physical game because I bought it. It's my physical thing, right? This is mine to keep. But digital media is not the case. You cannot own digital media. That's the thing with Xbox. That's the thing with any other game that you buy, essentially pay for or whatever. You can't. This is not yours. It's not. You can't buy it. Especially that's the case with PS5 and Discovery Plus. Is that during I believe. I think the turn of 2024, the first day that 2024 is starting, they can't provide that service to PS5 customers anymore. That's the case with the same thing with the Bible, right? I don't believe we have this physical thing, physical Bible, hand copy of the Bible, right? Hard copy of the Bible. But if we go to buy an ebook, for example, we do not own that book. We don't own that. We just pay for the publishing house so they can let us read that certain book, right? But I don't believe we own that book. Same thing with audiobook. I believe we don't own the audiobook. We only pay to read it or to listen to it, but we don't own the book. This is my book. This is what's given to me as a gift by my friend, whatever. But this is mine. I can keep this. Digital media, it's not yours. You can't keep it. That's a fortunate thing about media. Another thing, DVDs. I have DVDs here. I don't have a whole bunch, but I have some. These are mine. If you buy or rent a movie from, let's say, Amazon or YouTube, you do not own that movie. That is YouTube's movie. That they own licensing for that, but that's not yours. If, for example, I have a DVD here, essentially, let's say this random DVD, this is mine. I own it because I bought it. This is a physical hard copy of the DVD. But if I buy a digital one, it's not mine. So now we gotta think what happens next, because we're like, okay, so we don't own DVDs, we don't own digital media. What do we do? Like, what are we gonna do? So we need to start buying digital, like not digital media. We need to start buying physical media, physical games, physical books, physical DVDs. We gotta go back to DVD players. We gotta go back to VCR players, right? VHS, sorry. And we gotta go back to that because the digital media we pay for essentially is not ours. Like, all right, so we gotta go back to that. Just like she said, we gotta go back to DVDs because that digital media is not ours. We only pay for the licensing or the publishing company to read a certain book. So let's just read it. Let's just watch it again because that's really just something I'm like, wow, that is crazy.
You don't own the digital shows and movies that you bought. Everyone told me I was freaking crazy when I brought this up, and how I still loved my hard copy DVD collection. PlayStation is the latest to remove titles from buyers' libraries, with Sony recently posting a legal update notice outlining that hundreds of Discovery branded shows will no longer be available to access starting December 31st, saying as of 31 December 2023, due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and content will be removed from your video library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support.
There you go. So if you pay for Discovery Plus in PS5 or PS4, you no longer have those things that you can watch on PS5 or PS4 because it's gone. It's essentially gone. So one day, yes, right now you can pay for a movie, right? But then a certain thing happens where like the licensing no longer exists. It's gone. It's out. It's gone, right? So that is insane, and I am like, that's crazy. So we got to go back to owning DVDs in video games that are hard copy. This is a cartridge of the game, but we got to go back to that instead of owning digital media, which is insane. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that, guys. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is election year, because this is election year. 2024 is election year. The last election we had was 2020, and it was insane because it wasn't an electric vote or like a thing you can do with the machine. It was I think based off of like letters. Was it letters? It was voting by mail essentially. So this is the election year, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. But also, I heard that this might not be an election year. There might not be an election for some reason. Maybe there's the war going on. I have no idea, but it might not be. It's a possibility that there might not be an election year this year. But if there is, we don't know who will win, because it's kind of like a toss up. I feel like this election year, I feel like for me, I will be probably a toss up because there's so much going on right now. I don't think Biden will win the election just because the way people are kind of realizing that he's not fit to be president. So, yeah, there's a caucus also that Trump won, I think in a Republican ticket. But I think DeSantis was second place and Nikki Haley was third place. So, I think, I think today he dropped out of the race. DeSantis dropped out of the race. So it's, I think, Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, and I don't know who else. But I think this election year will probably be a toss-up. People will think Trump will win. I don't know if that's true. I can't say. I'm not going to be like Marcus Rogers, who says, like, God told me that Trump will win, because I don't know. I feel like it will be a toss-up between, Trump and someone else. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. That is the live stream for today. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I keep saying video, sorry. I hope you guys enjoy this live stream because it was a good one. But I'll also leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new, and click the notification bell for any new videos I put out, or any live streams I put out, or any shorts I put out, anything like that. So I hope you guys and I are well tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.